How's everybody doing today, man? This is Jared Black. Back with the Jared Black podcast, the second episode. I just want to thank everybody for the support from the first episode. I really appreciate that a lot. I got a ton of messages and stuff like that, just with outgoing support, and I appreciate that a lot. It helps me want to keep doing this, because obviously I'm not famous or anything like that, but it makes me know that people are appreciating the work that I'm putting in. So I just want to say thank you for that. Today we're gonna start off with the Warriors Mavericks game last night, the game 2 reactions, and then we're gonna follow with the game plan for next game for both teams. And then after that, we'll get into the Celtics game 2 reactions as well, the day before yesterday, and then the adjustments for them for their game tonight in Boston at 8:30. So we'll start with the Mavericks Warriors game last night. Mavericks blew a 19-point lead. I think it was 53-34 in the second quarter, and then all of a sudden they just fell apart. Luka, obviously he's going to be great. 42 points. Just incredible player. Jalen Brunson, 31 points. That was huge for them. If he doesn't play well, the Mavericks don't really have a chance. So Brunson's production's been critical for them. Their role players didn't play too bad either. Reggie Bullock, 21 points. Finney-Smith, 10. But obviously Luka and Jalen Brunson were carrying most of the load. But with them, there was just way too many rebounds for the Warriors. I think it was 43-30 Warriors rebounding, and then the points in the paint was just, if you were watching the game, you could, it was obvious. 62-30 in the paint. It's just, you're not going to win that way on the road. The Mavericks were just relying with a lot of threes, and the Warriors were just pounding it inside. They didn't have any response to the Warriors driving and intensity. And Kevon Looney, I wanted to start off with him for the Warriors. He was huge for them, just with the paint points and the rebounding. 21 points, 12 rebounds. He was never really a starter for them. He's been with them through their finals runs, back in 2016 and all that, 2017. And he always just waited for his opportunity. And now he's getting it, and he's flourishing right now. He's doing it at both ends of the floor for them. I'll see Luka take Kevon Looney into a switch, and he'll hold his ground. He'll hold him to a step back three or something like that. I think that's really impressive for a big man to be able to play defense, rebound, score, all that. Especially on one of the best teams in the league. He's been doing an incredible job. Also for the Warriors, we talked a lot last podcast about just how high-powered their offense is and how stringy it is. We saw that last night, obviously being down 20 and then coming all the way back. 50% from three, which is incredible for a team in the playoffs. Contributions all around. We talked about Wiggins and Poole being huge for them, along with, I even mentioned Clay, because Clay's been a little bit inconsistent for them as well. Jordan Poole, 23 points off the bench. He was massive for them, especially in clutch moments. The game would get close, or they would start going on a run, and then Poole would hit a three or get an and one or something like that. So, hey, he had some very timely buckets yesterday. Obviously, Curry, 32. We talked about how he was going to do his thing either way. And then Wiggins, 16 points, and Clay, 15 points. Those are the two specific role players that I pointed out. Very big for the Warriors. They just saw production all around, and their team is so deep that Clay could have 9 points, and then as long as somebody else is picking up the slack, and they have that on their offense for sure. So tonight, or for next game, I think the Mavericks need to slow down. I think the Warriors sped them up way too much. And then they also need to get in there and rebound. I mean, obviously Luca will get a good amount of rebounds for you. Maxi Kleber, like not a great rebounder. They're just not very tall, and they shoot a lot of threes. So if you're shooting threes, you got to get in there and rebound, especially offensive rebounds with long rebounds and stuff like that. So they just need to play harder and just play smarter next game. Um, Now we're gonna move on to the Heat Celtics series. Um, Obviously the game was 2 nights ago, and we talked about the Celtics not having Marcus Smart in the first game and how critical that was for them. His impact was felt right away. I mean, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists is incredible. I mean, that's almost a triple double right there on the road in Miami. In a comeback game from injury. Just incredible stuff we've been seeing from Marcus Smart this year. I mean, defensive player of the year. In past years, I mean, even their front office was having questions about if they should trade him and stuff like that. We're really seeing the true impact of Marcus Smart. I mean, on both ends of the floor. He controls the offense. He takes pressure off Tatum and Jaylen Brown. He gets in there and rebounds. I mean, 10 rebounds for 6'4" players, magnificent. And then just contributing on the offensive end as well, along with locking up Jimmy Butler. We talked about him slowing down Jimmy Butler. 29 points is a lot for Jimmy Butler, but if you hold the rest of it, if you let Jimmy have 30 and then nobody else on the team can score, then you'll live with that. And that's what the Celtics did. Team defense is huge for them. They had Al Horford back as well. Only 10 points, but his contributions on the defensive end are huge for them. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum both had over 24 points. Obviously, those are their two stars. Those two are going to have to lead the way. Grant Williams, 19 points. I was impressed by that. You know, I thought that Grant Williams wouldn't have a great series. Going back home now, back to Boston, Grant Williams loves to hit threes in TD Garden, so we'll see how he does tonight. I wouldn't expect him to have wide open threes again like the Milwaukee series, but you never really know how teams are going to game plan game to game. I mean, there's very, very smart people within those organizations thinking about how they want to attack defensively, offensively, just schematically. So I would be surprised to see Grant Williams get wide open threes, but we saw it last game and he capitalized 19 points. Jimmy Butler, he needs help on offense. I mean, specifically, I wanted to talk about Bam Adebayo. Just not a lot of production these last couple games. I mean, I think he had 6 points last game, and then the game before, I think he had 9 points. Being one of the best big men in the league, we just need to see more production from Bam. I really expect him to produce way more, and I know he's dealing with two big bodies down there. Like, he's got to fight with Al Horford, and then also Robert Williams, and then they have a massive lineup. Like, Tatum's coming in there to rebound, Jaylen Brown's crashing, Marcus Smart's obviously in there, so Bam has a lot on his shoulders for this series, but it's critical for him to produce. Along with Tyler Hero, I mean, 11 points last game. We talked about his inconsistency. It's going to be huge for them, especially tonight with we're going to talk about the injuries a little later on, but I guess I'll do it now. Gabe Vincent is out. These players are questionable. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, PJ Tucker, and then Kyle Lowry's out. So those are heavily contributing role players that could potentially be out. Tyler Hero is going to have to pick it up on the offensive end for them to have a chance tonight. We saw Gabe Vincent's production last game. Max Strus is a great role player. PJ Tucker, great defender. So it's going to be tough for the Heat tonight, especially in Boston. That place is very, very loud at home. So I would look for their role players to be firing on all cylinders as well. And I think the Celtics will take this one tonight for sure with all the injuries and distractions like that for the Heat. So I appreciate your guys' time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I hope you're back for episode 3.